Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. Currently we are reading The Light of Bhagvata. Yesterday we have seen how our Shastra says that Graha Medis, the householders who are too much engaged in sense gratification and like not taking interest in Krishna consciousness, it is compared to the falling into the dark well. Okay, you are sure sure shot you are going to die. It's like atmahar, we are killing ourselves by engaging too much in a sense gratification. Okay, we also seen on the other hand, like when someone enters in a grihastha ashrama with the full maturity and their center is not sense gratification but their center is a Krishna consciousness, or a center is a Krishna, then like it is a very beautiful ashrama. Okay, to and by gradually they can go back to the God. Okay, so we will start with the prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please, we will start with the 20th verse. Those who didn't get opportunity to read in frequent classes, they can raise their hand. So yes, like we already did the recap, but yes, there are four ashramas. First is like first ashrama is brahmachari ashrama, where the children are trained to train for the ultimate goal of life. Then second is a grahastha ashrama, where like husband and wife can together practice Krishna consciousness. And then vanaprastha ashrama, like Prabhupada says and our Shastra says, at the age of 50, you should like slowly start detaching, and like you should become very sincere in a Krishna consciousness. So, and then last one, fourth one is a sannyasa order. Like we are completely fixed on our goal. Okay, but like we shouldn't wait for the 50s, or we shouldn't wait to become a sannyasi. Okay, like in whatever situation, whatever condition you are in, at whatever age you are, you should start Krishna consciousness, practicing Krishna consciousness very seriously, because we don't have guarantee. Like in next minute we will be there in this body or not. Okay, so don't wait for the till the 50s. Okay, and we also seen that like whatever love, care, whatever things we are expecting, okay, these things are right, but what is the problem? You are we want the right things, but we are in a wrong place. We want like things which are present in a spiritual world, sukhalay, but like currently we are in a dukhalay. Here we cannot get the sukha, we cannot get the real enjoyment, real happiness. For that we have to go back to the Godhead. And this is this human life, and the aim of human life is to whatever material desires, sensual desires we are having, we have to transform that desires to the spiritual desires. Okay, then only we can go back to the Godhead. This is our task in human life, but we get distracted by the temporary sense gratification please. So Hare Krishna. Sureshwari Mataji, you can start reading.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Fierce torrents of rain break over the strands and the partition walls of the paddy field. These disturbances resemble those created by the seasonal opponents of the standard principles of the Vedas who are influenced by the age of Kali. Originally, the path of self realization was established by the standard of direction of the Vedas. Srila Vyasadeva divided the original Veda into four divisions, namely Sam, Atharva, Rik, and Yajur. Then he divided the same Vedas into 18 Puranas, supplements, and the Mahabharata. And then again the same author summarized them in the Vedanta Sutras. The purpose of all these Vedic literatures is to realize oneself to be a spiritual being, eternally related with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the all attractive form Sri Krishna. But all these different Vedic literatures were systematically distorted by the onslaught of the age of Kali, as the walls of the paddy field and the strand of the river are distorted by the onslaught of the heavy rains. The attacks of distortion are offered by atheistic philosophers who are connected only with eating, drinking, being married, and enjoying. Hare Krishna. Okay. There are these atheists are all against the revealed scriptures because such persons are intimately attached to sense pleasures and gross materialism. There are also others who do not believe in the eternity of life. Some of them propose that life is ultimately to be annihilated and that only the material energy is conserved. Others are less concerned with physical laws but do not believe anything beyond their experience, and still others equate spirit and matter and declare the distinction between them to be illusory. There is no doubt that the Vedas stand as the most recognized books of knowledge from every angle of vision. But over the course of time, the Vedic path has been attacked by philosophers like Charvaka, Buddha, Arhat, Kapila, Patanjali, Shankara, Vaikarna, Jaimini, the Nayakas, the Vaishyasikas, the Sagunis, the Pashupat Shaivas, the Saguna Shaivas, the Brahmanas, the Aryas, and many other. The list of non-Vedic speculators grows daily without restriction. The path of the Vedas does not accord with any principle divide of an eternal relation with God, attainment of his devotional service, and culmination in transcendental love for him. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So we can see, like, even like if someone read the one paragraph, even the one lines, even the one page of Srila Prabhupada and try to follow entire page in his life, he can go back to the Godhead. Okay. So like this has like these books are completely authorized and these are the law book for the next 10 years. Sorry, 10,000 years. So now we can see the torrents of the rain break over the strands and partition of the walls of the paddy field. This disturbance resembles to those who created the seasonal opponents of a standard principles of a Vedas who are influenced by the age of Kali. So we can see the Vedas are like Vedas give us a real knowledge, but there are some mental speculators, some philosophers they do not represent the real idea, real knowledge of a Vedas. They do mental speculation and whatever they can understand or like whatever is in their self interest they like tell this, and this is due to the like influence of a age of Kali. Okay, in paddy field we can see there are some the small walls or small walls are made up of mud so that like water doesn't flow like outside, but like when there is a heavy rain this walls break. Okay, so similarly, they like these shastras, these Vedas are for us. Like, what is the purpose of that? Like what Krishna says in a Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15 verse, that Krishna is seated in everyone's heart, and Krishna give us the forgetfulness, remembrance, and the intelligence. Okay. And like what Krishna says, like he is the like a conclusion of the Vedas, and like we should like when someone read the Vedas very scrutinizingly, at the end he should understand that Krishna is the supreme, and he should start worshipping Krishna. So like the purpose of the reading Vedas should be like to develop that loving devotional service to Krishna. Okay, and Krishna says like from the Vedas Krishna should be known, he should be known. Okay, So what Prabhupada is saying here in a purport, originally the path of a self-realization was established by the standard direction of a Vedas, and Srila Vyasadeva divided the original Vedas into four divisions. So Vedas have the four divisions. We should remember this. Na? These are the basics. First is the Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, Rig Veda, then Yajur Veda. Okay, and then this Vedas, this Vedas are further divided into the Puranas, which are the supplement, and then Mahabharata. Okay, and again, it is very vast, na? Like the Puranas, then Vedas, they are very vast. So they are again summarized to the Vedanta Sutras. Okay, and we can also see, na, our Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Okay, so the purpose of all this literature is to realize oneself to be the spiritual being and eternally related to the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, the all attractive form, Sri Krishna. So we can see, the purpose that, like, we should get attracted to Krishna. But what is the problem? Like we also seen in the starting of a Srimad Bhagavatam that, Vyasadeva was, very anxious. He was very he was not satisfied, and he was contemplating, like, why I'm not satisfied even after writing all the Vedas. Then, like, his spiritual master Narad Muni come and he told us, okay, whatever you are given in a Vedas, it's okay, but you haven't described the pure devotional service to the Lord, and the relationship of the, a relationship with the jiva, direct relationship with the jiva to the Krishna. You didn't glorify the Lord Krishna directly. That's why you are unsatisfied. So, on the in his full maturity, under direction of his spiritual master Srila Vyasadeva again write the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why it is called as a spotless Purana, because only the what is the purpose? To know who am I, who is Krishna, and what is my relationship with him. So, it directly discussed, okay, but in other Vedas, it is indirectly discussed. In other parts of a Vedas, it is indirectly discussed. Okay, so, we should, by reading the Vedas, by following the Vedas, we should understand, okay, I am the spiritual soul. Okay, I am not this body. So whatever sense enjoyment is related to this body, it is a temporary. Then why should I run behind the sense gratification? Why should I run behind the temporary, temporary or flickering happiness? So, and I am eternally related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In what relation? I am related as a servant. Krishna is the master. Jivar Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. So what is my duty? I should serve Krishna. Okay. And then we start contemplating, we start thinking in this way. But what is the problem with the now people? They are simply a fall in a karma kanda. And in a karma kanda, they don't identify themselves with this, we are as the eternal soul. They identify themselves with this body. They simply focus on the for this moment. Okay, uh, okay, if I do this yajna, my problems in my life will be gone. If I feed the brahmana, this will happen. If I if I do this puja, this will happen. If I worship this demigod, this will happen. So they're simply wasting their life. Okay, and even Krishna himself say in the Bhagavad Gita, those who worship the demigods, they are fools, and they have the low low brain substance. Like they are not intelligent, because demigods themselves are a temporary. So whatever results they are getting, they are just a temporary. Then why you are running behind? You are eternal. Then why are you running behind the temporary things? And why you are wasting your valuable time? That can you can engage this time in Krishna consciousness, again back to the Godhead. Again go back to the Godhead. Okay, and this sense gratification, if we are running behind the sense gratification, so there is no difference between the you and the animal. How? Because a Prabhupada gives the analogy, when there are ships or when there are goats outside the slaughterhouse, they can see, okay, goat is a present with me, he is eating with me now. The shopkeeper has slaughtered him, till the skin, and keep it for the selling. But he put some grass in front of me, and I'm enjoying that grass. I'm not thinking, I'm simply enjoying that temporary thing, that temporary grass. Oh, grass is so tasty. But what is your fate? Your your neighbor goat is like a slaughter. Now it's your time is the next. You are the next. So we should be very careful. Okay, I'm eating grass very nicely. I'm engaging myself in a temporary sense gratification very nicely. But with the time, this body will be gone, and I will lose the opportunity to go back to the Godhead. So we should be very conscious where we are investing our time. Okay. Then further, yes, we can see with the time, this the knowledge always come from the disciplic cessation, but with the time, this disciplic cessation has broken, and other people they distorted the real meaning of the Vedas. Okay. And why they distorted, because they are simply connected with the eating, drinking, being married and enjoying the sense gratification, or they're simply engaged in a sense gratification. If someone person wants to do lot of sense gratification, then why he will follow the authority of a authority of a shastras? Because what shastras is that you have to do regulated things. There are some rules and regulations for human life, but he don't want to follow the rules and regulations, so he start criticizing the Vedas, he start manipulating the Vedas, and we should be very careful not to hear from such a person. So now we don't have to go anywhere and discuss this topic, but when you are watching reels, to whom you are hearing, to what you are reading, it is very important. You should be very very conscious. Okay. Because what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mayavadi bhashya sunle hoy sarvanash. So why should we hear to these peoples? Okay. And why we are wasting our time? Better we should we can hear the Prabhupada shorts, or we can read the Prabhupada's books, and we can hear the Prabhupada's lecture. They are all are present on ISKCON Desire Tree. Okay. So Vedas does not accord with any principle devoid of an eternal relation with the God and attain his devotional service. Culmination of in the transcendental love of him. So Vedas are only for to develop, to understand, to develop the loving relationship with the service, loving relationship with the Krishna, and develop the loving devotional service to the Krishna. Anything anything from the Vedas which is not telling this directly, it is none of any use for us. Okay. It is simply wasting our time. So now we can go with the 21 verse. Who wants to read? They can raise their hand. Hare Krishna. Pooja Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna, yes,
Praveen?
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, you can start.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Sadhe Pranam to all. The wind carries the clouds to different parts of the globe, and the clouds distribute rains to the satisfaction of the people in general, just as rich kings and merchants distribute their accumulated wealth, inspired by religious priests. Hare Krishna. As already explained, the four divisions of society, namely the intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, the ruling class, Kshatriyas, the mercantile class, Vaishyas, and the laboring class, Shudras, are meant to achieve one goal in life, self realization or cultivation of human spirit. The intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, are to inspire the Kshatriyas and Vaishnavas. The Brahmanas are to inspire the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas in performing sacrifices for spiritual cultivation, and thus, sorry, and thus the cooperation of the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas uplifts the people in general of the or the ordinary laboring. Sorry. Ordinary laboring of the class of men. As soon as the cooperation between the four classes of men in society stops, the basic principles of spiritual culture are neglected. The social structure of humans. Sorry. The social culture of humanity becomes a second edition of animal life based on the propensities of eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. It is the duty of the intelligent man to influence the members of the richer communities, the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, to sacrifice for spiritual culture. Only in this way can the tension between the capitalists and the laborers, as well as uh, laborers, be well mitigated. In this age of Kali, when a slight difference of opinion leads to the quarrel, even to the extent of riots, it is duty of the intelligent men and the Brahmanas to selflessly inspire the richer people to sacrifice for this purpose. It is suggested herewith that the men of the intelligent class should not themselves try to become Kshatriyas or Vaishyas, nor should they engage themselves in the occupations of the various other classes. Rather, the Brahmana should simply guide them in spiritual cultivation, just as wind carries the clouds to the places of to pour water. The wind itself does not take up the responsibility for pouring water. The most intelligent men in society are the saints and sages who have sacrificed everything for the service of spiritual culture. Their duty is to travel throughout human society and inspire its members to engage themselves in acts of spiritual culture by sacrificing their words, money, intelligence, and life. That should be the theme of human life in order to make it a complete success. A society with no taste for spiritual culture is a blazing fire, and everyone in that fire perpetually suffers the threshold miseries. As clouds pour water on a blazing fire in the forest, thus extinguish it and thus extinguish it. The intelligent men who work as the spiritual masters of society pour water on the blazing fire of miseries by disseminating the spiritual knowledge and inspiring the richer section of the society to help in the cause. Temples of worship, for example, are constructed by the rich, and these temples are meant to impart spiritual education to people in general. The periodic spiritual ceremonies are held for inspiration and not for the exploitation. If there are flaws, not because of the age of Kali, they should be rectified, but the institution must be saved.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So yes, like our Namnishta Das Prabhu also said, na, like he is taking recent Bhagavatam classes where it is said like you should pre-reach. Like, and pre-reaching is the sign that you are living. Otherwise, you are died. Okay. So like even like Prabhupada says, you have to go door to door, and like you should you should ask that persons to engage in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So yes, here we can see the wind carries the clouds to the different parts of a globe. The cloud distribute the rains to satisfaction of the people in a general, just like a rich kings and merchants distribute their accumulated wealth inspired by the religious priest. So we can see ocean water get evaporated in a form and they form the cloud. Okay, and this cloud they travel from the ocean area to the in the like on the terrestrial area, and like they shower the rain. And like we can also see we have seen in past verses that like this rain is the mercy of a Krishna, because from this rain grains come, and from by eating grains we can we can live healthy, and like we can maintain our body. So yes, like and Krishna, how merciful Krishna is. Prabhupada says in that verse purport that like water is very necessary for the living. So Krishna store the water in the like salty ocean to preserve the water. Krishna also preserve the water in a form of ice, so that like it do not flood entire the earth. Okay, so we can also see that like these richer peoples like they get inspired by the priest, and they do some kind of a donation, and from this donation it is used to perform some ceremonies in a temple and to build the big temples, so that everyone in the society can come to the temple, and then they take the benefit, they can take the darshan. And what Prabhupada is saying here, the temples are not simply for the taking darshan and to take the prasadam. Some temples they are they are institution to pre-reach the Krishna consciousness and give the spiritual knowledge to the soul who is entering in that temple. Okay, so we have seen there are four divisions. What are these four divisions? First is the intelligent class of man, that are a Brahmana. Second is a ruling class, that are a Kshatriya, then mercantile, the Vaishyas, then labor class, they are a Shudras. So we can see the what is the duty of this Brahmana, what is the and like on the spirituality, everyone is trying to come on the Brahmana platform to practice the Krishna consciousness. So like we are not a brahmanas, but we are trying to become a brahmanas. Okay, and so what should be our duty? That like we should be intelligent. And how to become intelligent? By reading Srila Prabhupada, by chanting, by purifying ourselves. Okay, so it is our duty to go door to doorstep, and to pre-reach this mission to the everyone. Like, so pre-reaching is very important. Okay, and like that's why you can enroll in various sevas. Okay, so so these four institutions, or these four class of mans, why they are formed? what is the goal is for a brahmanas goal is different, for kshatriyas goal is different, or like for the vaishyas or shudras goal is different. No, everyone has the same goal, that they have to cultivate the human spirit. What is the human spirit? Okay, I am getting this human body, now I should live in such a way that at the end of this at the end of living this body, I should be transferred from this bhuloka to the goloka. Okay, this is the human spirit to develop the krishna consciousness. Okay, then like there should be cooperation between the brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, and shudras, and this cooperation can only happen on the platform of a spirituality, not on other platform. That's why, like, unless and until everyone becomes spiritual, like it is very hard to to have the peace in this world. So when, like, what Prabhupada is saying here, the as soon as the cooperation between the four classes of a man in a society stops, the basic principles of the spiritual culture are neglected. Like, when these basic principles of the spiritual culture are neglected, then what happens? Oh, we don't believe in a Vedas. We don't we don't believe in a God. Then what happens to these people? The social structure of humanity becomes the second addition of a animal life. So, like, does human life become, what Prabhupada said, polish animal life? The animals also enjoying the eating, sleeping, mating, defending, fearing. So they are also enjoying the same. Then, like, you are also doing the same. Then what is the difference between the like a dog, lying on the road, and that like hog eating stool, and just a bodily difference? You are doing the same activities. Then what is the difference? What make you different from that hog eating the stool? That is devotional service. If you are practicing devotional service, if you are becoming sincere, and you are you are running behind, you are chasing that goal. Okay, I have to go back to the godhead, I have to purify my consciousness. Then you are a human. Only this distinct you from the animals. So, like, we can see at the age of Kali, like even for the small things, like our Namnishta Das Prabhu also said, when we start arguing, we will lose that person. Okay, even there is a slight difference in our opinion, it leads to the quarrel. Even some person like says any word, and like then they can even kill for that. Even like some person not moving outside on the road, then also they are killing. So for these small things, they are taking very big steps. So, like, then, like, yes, it is a duty of us to inspire the general public and like the rich persons to donate, to sacrifice, to do any kind of a sacrifice through the money, or to giving some time, or to visiting temple, through the donations. So it is our duty to inspire the people for the donations. It is our duty to preach the mission of the Krishna consciousness. So further, the Brahmanas should be simply guide them spiritual cultivation, just as the wind carries the clouds from one places to poor other. The intelligent man sacrifice everything in the service of the spiritual culture. We can see in our temple also, like they are materially they have the very good position, but they give up everything simply to serve Krishna, because they are intelligent. They know, like, oh, these are the temporary things, and like I shouldn't waste my time. Let me focus on something which is a permanent. So then, what is the purpose of these intelligent persons? Their purpose is to inspire the general public and the rich persons to engage themselves in the acts of a spiritual culture by sacrificing their words. They should speak about the Krishna. They can they can give the sacrifice their money, by in a form of a donation. By intelligence, how anyone can sacrifice their intelligence in Krishna consciousness? By reading Srila Prabhupada books, by hearing the lectures and their life. They can join the they can also join the like a temple full time. On the other hand, in whatever situations they are living, they can become a fire of devotees, and they can preach the mission of Krishna consciousness to everyone. Okay, it doesn't mean that, like, to become a very good devotee you have to give up everything and you have to join the temple full time. In Even if you are staying in your house, like in your house, then also you are in a grahastha life, then also you can become a fire of devotees. Okay, so the society with a no taste for the spiritual culture is a blazing fire, and everyone in that fire perpetually suffers the threefold miseries. So we are in this material world, and like we are not taking the shelter of a Krishna. like who is the controller of a Maya, then like we are going to suffer the threefold miseries: Adi, Bhautik, Adi, Daivik, Adi, Atmic. And what is the solution? We have to take the shelter of Krishna. Krishna is like a sun, and like the Maya is like a, darkness. When like we move towards the sun, there is no question of a darkness. But like when we are moving, like when we are not seeing Krishna, then like we will sure shot we will fall prey to the Maya. So this like the as the clouds pour the water on the blazing fire, the fire of the forest, and extinguish is the intelligent man who work as the spiritual master of the society, pour the water on the blazing fire, the miseries as miseries by the disseminating spiritual knowledge and inspiring the richer section of the society to help in a cause. So we can see like even in a Guru Ashtakam we sing na संसारे दावानललीढलोक त्राणय कारुण्य घनाघनाघ्नम्. So, like we can see, we can take example like Srila Prabhupada. He was reading all the commentaries, all the books of our previous acharyas. Then, like he is taking the summary of that spiritual knowledge and representing us in a form of that nectarian books which as Prabhupada has written. So, and Prabhupada, like he's staying in a Vrindavana, like a clouds. He was like, he was collecting all the pure water, like all the things, like all the water from the scriptures and like from the acharyas, their commentaries on the books, and like he is becoming like a cloud. And then he is a traveling worldwide, and he is distributing the water. And to whom he is distributing the water, like we can see now people they are simply engaged in a sense gratification, and they are suffering the threefold miseries because they have no idea of a Krishna consciousness. And it is like a forest fire, and the forest fire cannot be, we cannot extinguish the forest fire simply by putting the bucket full of water. No, for to extinguish the forest fire we require the rain, that heavy rain. And this spiritual master, they take all the water, or they take all the spiritual knowledge from the scriptures, from the acharyas, and this transcendental knowledge, like they pour on the like this suffering soul in a form of rain. Then our we don't suffer this threefold miseries. Okay, so for devotees, when we take the shelter of a pure devotees, then uh, we can transcend this Maya. So we should be very grateful to our Srila Prabhupada. And how we need to be grateful, not simply saying, oh Prabhupada, I'm so grateful. You are so like you have given us these books, you have given us this association. No, if you are a gratitude, that you should the next step is you should start serving. Like in what services I can do. Like you can do offline services also. You can like if it is not possible, you can do online services also. Hare Krishna, Vinod Prabhu, you have to take care of your mic, okay? So like we have the very good opportunity to serve online also. Like it is a mercy of our spiritual master and our guru. Okay, and also the Nam Nishta Das Prabhuji, who is providing all the facilities, like to us, giving us like all the opportunities to practice, like to do online services and like, show our gratitude to our spiritual master Nam Nishta Das Prabhu and like to the Srila Prabhupada. So like I want everyone present in my class to take the take any seva, and like they have to perform till the end with the full enthusiasm. The enthusiasm should be with the time it should increasing, it should not decrease. Okay, so yes, so today we can end here. Tomorrow we will start with the next verse, with the 22. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनन्तकोटि वैष्णववृन्द की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. Happy Krishna
Hare
Conscious Day.
Krishna,
Hare
Sadhguru.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji. Thank you
Mataji.
so
Hare
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Pranam. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji, happy Krishna Conscious Day.
Happy
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Conscious Day to everyone.
धन्यवाद
Happy Krishna
माताजी
conscious day to everyone. Hare Krishna.
All glories to
Krishna
Assembled
Mataji.
Devotees.